Today, we will explore an action, adventure and fantasy film from 2017 titled Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Warning, this article contains spoilers, proceed with caution. In the 28th century, Earth's International Space Station began collaborating with the alien races. Each race brought their own space station, gradually merging with Earth's station. Over time, it evolved into a multicultural city named Alpha, home to millions of species from thousands of different planets. The city grew so large that it was relocated into deep space, enabling connections with more beings and continued expansion. To maintain peace in such a vast community, a police force was established by the United Human Federation, UHF. Around 400 years after Alpha was moved into deep space, there was a peaceful planet named Mul with no contact with other races. The inhabitants of this planet lived by harvesting pearls filled with immense energy and using a special creature called a converter to duplicate them. Everything changed on a fateful day when debris from space unexpectedly fell onto the planet, including small ships and a massive vessel. The explosion from the large ship destroyed all life on the planet. The tribal leaders, and a portion of the population managed to escape in a ship. However, as they sealed the doors and accidentally damaged the lock, they left Princess Liho Mina outside. Before the explosion consumed her, Liho Mina released her soul through a wave of energy, hoping to convey her message to someone. The energy wave from Princess Liho Mina reached Major Valerian of the UHF while he was napping on a virtual beach aboard his ship. Accompanying Valerian was Sergeant Laureline, his close partner. Valerian attempted to convince Laureline to start a romantic relationship, but she always refused, believing him to be a playboy who lacked seriousness in love. Valerian asked the ship's AI assistant Alex to scan his brain. Alex confirmed that he had received an energy wave from an external source, which could originate from the past or present and from anywhere in the universe. The duo then received orders from the Minister of Defense, instructing them to travel to planet Kyrian for a secret mission. The mission was to rescue the converter, the last of its kind, and deliver it to Alpha for a top-secret operation. Upon landing on the planet, they changed outfits to disguise themselves as tourists. Valerian and Laureline met Major Gibson and his team, who would assist them in the mission. Valerian was tasked with infiltrating a virtual market, while Laureline waited at a rendezvous point to receive the package. Before the mission began, Valerian unexpectedly proposed to Laureline, asserting that he wasn't afraid of commitment. However, Laureline didn't trust him and responded only with a kiss on the cheek, sending him off without giving an answer. To enter the market, which existed in a different dimension, Valerian had to wear a special helmet and gloves. During the mission, he broke protocol and ventured into a restricted area off-limits to humans. There, he encountered Sergeant Cooper, who gave him a pair of glasses to replace the helmet, granting access to yet another dimension. Cooper also supplied Valerian with tools, including a gun, a cube, and a rapid body scanner to make him invisible and undetectable. Valerian entered a shady shop where Egon was attempting to sell the converter to two alien beings resembling the creatures from his dream. In exchange, they offered Egon special pearls. However, Egon's greed made him demand more, leading to both sides failing to reach an agreement. Tensions escalated to the point where everyone drew their weapons, including Valerian, who had been hiding behind Egon but now revealed himself. Meanwhile, Laureline and her team drove to the rear of the wall surrounding the market. They used a special gun to take full control of the actions of the guards in the watchtower. Afterward, they cut a hole in the wall, allowing Laureline to pass through and meet Valerian at the rendezvous point. Laureline carried a special box and activated it right next to Valerian, causing the box to appear in the other dimension. When Egon placed the converter inside the box, Laureline immediately deactivated it and brought it back to the truck. However, Valerian stayed behind a bit longer to retrieve one of the special pearls. As he tried to leave quietly, Valerian's hanging hand unintentionally attracted the attention of the guards and an alien dog, causing him to be attacked by them. The noise made everyone in the market start firing chaotically. Laureline noticed Valerian was in danger and alerted the support team. Cooper was sent to assist, but he too was attacked by the alien dog. Thanks to his near invisibility, Valerian eventually escaped the shop. However, the cushioning system of the box malfunctioned, leaving him unable to exit that dimension. A guard spotted Valerian moving through the market and gave chase, firing a series of magnetic metal spheres at the box. The spheres drastically increased its weight, causing Valerian to fall into a sewer. He landed inside a space resembling an arcade, where he encountered a small child playing with a toy gun. Valerian seized the opportunity to hand the child one of the magnetic spheres. The child shot the sphere at a nearby alien, and due to magnetic force, all the other spheres immediately followed the first one. Valerian, now free from the excessive weight, was able to stand up, but his actions unintentionally made the child cry. As a result, he was chased through the market by the child's parent. While fleeing, Valerian accidentally bumped into Laureline, who quickly repaired the box just before the guards and the alien dog caught up to them. However, the trouble was far from over. Their presence had been discovered, and Egon released another giant creature to chase them. The duo dashed out of the market, while the aliens under their control fired at the giant creature to slow it down. Everyone made it back to the truck and attempted to escape, but the monster easily caught up and leapt onto their vehicle. The team on the truck opened fire on the creature, but it was ineffective. Valerian decided to call AI Alex to summon their ship for backup. When the ship arrived, Valerian and Laureline jumped through the window into the ship safely. The monster tried to follow them but lost its footing and fell off as the ship accelerated to leave exospace. After escaping danger, Laureline placed the converter into a treatment chamber, while Valerian asked Alex to analyze the pearl. The results revealed that the pearl contained an immense amount of energy. When searching for information about the pearl's planet of origin, Valerian discovered that the data related to the planet had been classified as restricted access. Laureline then joined Valerian on the ship's deck and continued to ignore his marriage proposal. The two eventually arrived at Alpha, where they were granted VIP access thanks to carrying the converter. They met General Octo Bar, who explained that a radioactive zone had been discovered at the center of Alpha. Drones and specialized soldiers had been sent to investigate, but none returned safely. The radioactive zone in Alpha was expanding daily, threatening the entire space station. They needed to find a solution before disaster struck. Commander Arun Filit appeared with his personal K-Tron robot army, which he intended to bring to the meeting with the Security Council. However, a call from the Minister of Defense forced Filit to assign Valerian and Laureline as his replacement bodyguards. Before heading to the meeting, Filit stopped by to inspect one of his prisoners, an alien from the planet Mul who was being tortured for information. When the soldiers reported they had learned nothing, Filit ordered the prisoner to be executed if he didn't speak within an hour. He also reminded the K-Tron robots of their mission if the operation went awry. Laureline brought the converter to the meeting, as Filit wanted to use it as a bargaining chip if necessary. However, Laureline refused to hand it over and kept the converter safe with her. While Valerian accompanied Filit into the meeting room to brief the council on the pollution issue, Laureline stood guard outside. Unexpectedly, she was approached by three small aliens, the Dogon de Gui, who introduced themselves and claimed they could provide useful information. When asked about the planet Mul, they said it was a sensitive topic, and Major Samp had once been an expert in the field. However, Samp had died 3 years ago under mysterious circumstances. The Dogon de Gui also warned that mercenaries were planning to steal the converter. Right after that, an alarm bell rang. The attackers had begun infiltrating through the walls, but neither the council nor the station's AI system could detect them. As officers in the command room tried to evacuate, they realized the power had been cut, leaving everyone trapped inside. Laureline joined Valerian, and together they tried to rescue Filit, but suddenly, the wall exploded. A group of aliens from the planet Mole stormed into the room, firing shots that released a slime, covering everyone in cocoons. Valerian recognized the situation and quickly swallowed a pill just before being covered in the goo. A few minutes later, the aliens left, taking with them a cocoon that contained Filit. When they left, a spider-like robot from Valerian's pill emerged, cutting open the cocoon and helping him wake up and escape. Valerian then rescued Laureline, handing her his knife so she could free the others, while he went after the group of aliens. General Barr and his army returned to the command room. Laureline monitored them through the screens and relayed the information to Valerian via radio. The only way for Valerian to reach them quickly was to go through a wall. He used his suit to break through the wall, running through several different environmental zones. Eventually, he was picked up by Alex and their ship, but when the aliens also boarded their ship, a high-speed chase ensued. Valerian opened fire, but the enemy ship simply split into hundreds of smaller vessels. Valerian decided to pursue the ship they believed carried Filit. However, his ship was too large to keep up in the narrow paths where the enemy ship maneuvered. So, he decided to use the Skyjet, using its hook to latch onto the enemy ship and follow it closely. However, this caused him to lose control and get pulled into the dead zone, leaving Laureline completely out of contact with him. Laureline wanted to go rescue Valerian, but General Barr forbade her and ordered his soldiers to restrain her. However, before she was taken away, she managed to plant doubt in his mind. She asked why there were aliens from a destroyed planet here, and why they spared the council members if they were so evil. She also suggested that someone had lied to them. As she was taken out of sight, Barr checked the information about the Mul planet in the database. He discovered that even he couldn't access that level of classified information. As she left the command room, Laureline pretended to cooperate with the guards, telling them they should cuff her. When they got close, she suddenly attacked, knocked them out, and escaped. She then met up with the Dogon Daguis again and asked them to guide her to the exact location of Valerian. The four of them set off together to find Bob, who would take them fishing for something very special, a cortex jellyfish. Laureline boarded Bob's submarine, and the vessel began diving deep into the ocean to search for bromosaurs, giant creatures carrying jellyfish on their backs. Bob used the submarine's special claws to grab a jellyfish from the back of a bromosaur, but it wasn't as easy as it seemed. This action angered the creature, and 3 bromosaurs began chasing them underwater. Fortunately, Bob's submarine was fast enough to escape, and they finally broke free by going through a narrow path. Back on land, Dogan DeGee explained to Laureline that she had to place the jellyfish on her head and let it show her what she was looking for. However, she had to do this for no more than a minute, or else the jellyfish would start eating her memories. Laureline followed Dogan DeGee's instructions, pushing past her limits. She held her head under the jellyfish for 1 minute and 10 seconds until she saw Valerian's location. She saw a sign that read L630SL deactivated, and Dogan DeGees confirmed that it was at 630 East. After leaving to rescue her friend, Dogan DeGees went to meet General Barr to sell information about the alien hostage that Philip had hidden. General Barr immediately ordered the arrest of everyone involved in the interrogation and anyone trying to assist the alien from the Mule planet. However, this alien had blown up their own body to send a message, just like the princess had done. Before dying, the alien told Barr that they were attacking because the UHF had something they needed. When Barr's assistant, Sergeant Neza, ran the alien's DNA through the database, they discovered that this species was not in the records. This meant that they had either never existed or someone had deleted them from the files. Laureline arrived at 630 East after carefully navigating through a rocky area. She found Valerian unconscious on the ground. She woke him up with a special drug, and after a silly argument, she entertained herself by watching some butterflies. While Valerian was fixing his ship, she didn't realize that not all the butterflies were real. Some of them were actually decoys. When she accidentally touched one of the butterflies, she was kidnapped by a primitive tribe, the Bulan Bathors, from the planet Gora and taken into their forbidden area. Valerian intentionally touched a butterfly to get kidnapped along with Laureline, but he quickly shot down the captor and hid behind a wall. He restored contact with Alex, the AI on the ship. It informed him that the only way to enter without causing diplomatic trouble was to find a glamapod, a creature capable of shape-shifting into anything. Since Valerian had left the dead zone, the UHF could track him again, and the guards were ordered not to harm him, just to find help. Therefore, he easily threatened an officer and stole a special gun that made him invisible. He then subdued the officer and entered the Paradise Alley district. There, he found callgirls offering their services, but Valerian headed toward a special club. He asked Jolly, a broker, about the glamapod, a species of alien that could transform into anyone they wished. Jolly took Valerian to meet Bubble Show, a girl who danced while constantly changing her appearance. After the performance ended, Valerian pulled out a gun, knocked out Jolly, and made a deal with Bubble, who was an illegal immigrant. If she helped him find Laureline, he would help her get a legal permit and freedom from the club. Bubble agreed and helped them escape, hiding Valerian inside her jelly-like body and transforming into Jolly. This was the trick they used to enter the area where Laureline was being held. She just needed to transform into a Bulan Bathor to easily sneak in. Meanwhile, Laureline tried to communicate with her captors, but to no avail. They only kept showing her dresses to choose from. Finally, she picked a white dress with a giant hat that had a hole on the top. She was taken to a long line of servants bringing food to their emperor, where Bubble and Valerian had also sneaked in. The emperor didn't like any of the food brought to him, including Valerian's dish. He stepped out of line and watched Laureline as it was her turn. Laureline's dish was just a lemon, and the emperor squeezed it over her head before pulling out a special tool to crush her skull. Valerian didn't waste any time. He knocked out a guard with his food tray. Then he grabbed his weapon and fought the remaining alien soldiers. He even jumped onto the emperor to kill him. After freeing Laureline, she also grabbed a sword from a corpse, and with Bubble, they helped Valerian fight the guards. However, more soldiers kept appearing. Valerian decided to execute a quick plan. He held Laureline's hand and pretended to attack, but in reality, they just fell into a drain and landed in a new area. Meanwhile, in the command room, General Barr was talking to the Minister of Defense. He requested access to Philip's classified files, which he obtained after some hesitation from the minister. The file on Planet Mole revealed that the planet was destroyed due to an accident in the war, and that the planet had never been inhabited, which was clearly false. When trying to find out who was responsible for such a disastrous campaign, Barr discovered that this information was also classified. What frustrated him even more was the constant presence of the Catrons. The robots had been programmed by Philip, and only he could command them to leave. Valerian and Laureline fell into a giant trash bin and discovered that Bubble had been injured in the battle. Her last words to Valerian were to take good care of Laureline before her body turned to dust. The couple began to wander, although Valerian swore he knew where he was going, or at least he somewhat knew. He admitted that the princess's soul had always guided him throughout this journey. Valerian and Laureline eventually made it into the dead zone, but nothing happened to them. The danger from pollution was originally a lie. Valerian thought that Philip actually knew what was really behind the bright wall they encountered. They met the people of Planet Mool, who had been waiting for them. Their leaders explained what had happened that day many years ago. After the big explosion, they drifted through space for many years, collecting whatever they could find in the ship they escaped in. They learned all the sciences contained in the ship's database in order to one day restore it. They were picked up by scrap collectors and eventually sold to Alpha Station. They had been living in seclusion there ever since, while continuing to gather more knowledge and build a new ship, strong enough to take them to a new planet where they could rebuild their homeland. The only things they lacked were a converter and a gemstone. That's why they had hired Valerian and Laureline to steal them for them. So Philip couldn't find them. Unfortunately, Valerian and Laureline had ruined this plan. Now they knew the alien's story, and they believed they would do the right thing. They wake up Philip, who immediately demands that Valerian and Laureline arrest these people. He said they were lying and that the planet had never been inhabited when they fought in that area. However, the people of Planet Mool did not believe Philip's words. In fact, they had figured out the truth. Philip was the commanding soldier on that fateful day, and he had decided to launch the missile without caring whether anyone was on the planet or not. The only thing he had to do afterward was erase all the evidence. Philip admitted that he had killed Major Somp and created the polluted zone when the people of Planet Mool revealed the truth about him before Alpha. He admitted that he did it to prevent humanity from losing credibility and influence at Alpha, then ordered Valerian to arrest the leaders of Planet Mool. However, Valerian didn't obey and instead gave the aliens the gemstone he had in his hand. Laureline wanted to give them the converter as well, but Valerian objected, pointing out that it was government property. However, he changed his mind when Laureline said that was why she didn't want to marry him, because he didn't understand love. To thank him for allowing her to do this, Laureline finally kissed him on the lips. General Barr, who was accompanied by a group of K-trons, arrived on the other side of the bright wall. He confirmed that there was no pollution, before they began preparing explosives. Meanwhile, the leader of Planet Mool placed the gemstone into the converter, finally creating the energy they needed to power the new ship they had built. A 3D image of their old planet was created, as if to recreate the lost world. With the mission completed, the princess could rest in peace. Therefore, the leaders of Planet Mool took her soul out of Valerian's body. When they heard noise from outside, a group of aliens stepped through the wall and communicated with them peacefully, proving they had no harmful intentions. General Barr witnessed this scene and became even more convinced of the truth. When Valerian and Laureline called him and told him the whole story, he still needed confirmation from Philip to cancel the boycott. The couple dragged Philip in and tried to force him to reveal the truth. However, instead of answering, Philip ordered destruction, and the K-trons immediately followed the command. The robots began attacking both the people at the wall and those in the command room, where General Barr ordered Nessa to stop the countdown. While Laureline kept punching Philip in the face, Valerian crossed the wall to shoot down the K-trons. Nessa secretly opened a control panel, directly connecting to the control source. He successfully stopped the explosion just 1 second before the bomb detonated. The Mole people finally left Alpha safely, boarding their new spaceship. When a few surviving soldiers found Philip bound and hanging from the ceiling through the hole left by the Mole people, General Barr ordered his arrest for war crimes. Valerian and Laureline also escaped, using the service ship the Mole people had used to get to Alpha. While waiting for rescue, Valerian asked Laureline again if she would marry him. This time, she replied, "Maybe," and gave him a passionate kiss on the lips. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss exciting videos like this. Thank you for watching.